Alright guys, here we are again with more of the letter, and I can officially tell you guys that this will be the last chapter for Becca in general, and we move on to Ashton finally. So with that said guys, hope you continue to enjoy watching, and let's keep it rolling. Alright guys, and we're back. But in my field, it doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. I'll be the laughingstock of the community.
This isn't going anywhere.
Mentally exhausted, I take a careful step away from the screen, pressing a palm to my tired eyes. The lack of ample light in this area doesn't help. A headache already threatens to form at the back of my head, yet I'm nowhere near figuring things out. This is simply too much to take in all at once.
I should have asked for someone's help.
Now I'm at a dead end. I start gathering everything around me and placing them back in their respective envelopes for storage. The motion is no longer new after volunteering here a number of times. I didn't make much mess anyway, considering the lack of materials available to begin with. I'll have to look somewhere else. The where remains unknown though. But just as I'm about to slip the last of the slides in, something catches my attention. My hand pauses, the microfiche halfway through its protective sleeve. This is one of the few I've set aside without taking a careful look at. It seems like a gossip column at first glance, but upon closer look, I slide it back to the reader, gently turning the dials in search of the page. It takes some time, but once the image becomes clear, they must have had this drawing commissioned for this announcement. Ermengarde heir announces betrothal. I don't doubt it. The details are far more intricate, their likeness likely closer to how they might have appeared at the time. They're both recognizable this way, closer to those paintings I've seen in the mansion. However, it's the man standing beside her, Edward Godfrey. According to the article, this caught my attention previously. Her first cousin and eventually her fiancé. Maybe it's the posture, the manner in which he holds himself. Or maybe it's the shape of his eyes though. I can't be too certain about that until I've gotten a better reference. Nevertheless, there is a resemblance. Yeah, I can already see it too. He looks eerily like... My head snaps up, glowering at whoever's running in the floor above. Any day I'd march upstairs and reprimand whoever it is.
This is a library, for heaven's sake.
But now isn't the time. I've gotten what I need. Without wasting another minute, I hit the machine's print button for a copy of the page, while my other hand moves to put everything back into storage. A ragged exhale slips from me. Relief perhaps, or maybe this is already exhaustion. Regardless, soon, I'm closing my eyes as I wait for the printer to finish, if only to stave off a headache building up from everything. Sometime I even began humming the same song again for comfort. Despite my doubts about this, despite all the tension in my shoulders. This may be a small find, but at least I can start somewhere. We can start somewhere. There's a way out of this. I know it. The printer sputters to a halt. However, its sound isn't what makes me snap my eyes open. Of course. A feeling, a chilly brush of air behind my back. Brief enough for something sickening to suddenly lodge itself in my throat while I take in my surroundings. It's that suffocating sensation again, creeping to every part of me, crawling under my skin, draining me little by little of any strength. From that day in the mansion, from that brief moment at the school. Without delay, I grab the papers and make a quick beeline for the door. Oh, whoa. My whole body freezes.
What are you doing, Miss Pink?
I hold my breath, not daring to make any noise. For a little while, only the sound of papers crumpling under my grasp fills the room. The excitement from earlier gone instantly, replaced by cold, seeping dread spreading throughout my limbs. But more than that fear is the anger. It pains me to hear her using my own student's voice against me, and more than once I believed it was really her. She has no right.
Why don't you play with me?
I don't see that happening. Although she hasn't made a move, if there isn't a wall behind me, I'll probably take a step back. Anything to put the distance between us, no matter how small, as long as I'm out of her reach. But I steel myself, because if I do fall back and turn away from her, I'll be left with no way out. I am not dying here. I agree with that, wholeheartedly.
You think you scam me?
Miss Pink, food. I'm waiting.
I'm not afraid of you, you spook! This is one Scotswoman. You aren't getting into an early grave without a fight!
Oh, that's some spunk. I love it.
Come at me!
I expected she'll lunge, prove to me what a monster she is. Instead, all she gives me is a smile twisted and gnarled. It's as if time has crawled to a stop at the sight of it. A split-second decision. And before I know it, my body shifts. Eyes closing in anticipation, hand grabbing whatever solid enough on the nearby table, just hurling it at her. I don't bother looking if whatever I threw hits the mark. I run, as fast as my legs can carry me, despite my heart threatening to burst out of my chest. But in this maze of bookshelves with the whole place almost void of people, is there even a place safe enough I can escape to? Time to save, guys. This is usually that point where I'm like, alright. Ooh, okay. Head for the door? Typical, sure. Or I head upstairs. But what if I go upstairs, I could be trapped. There could be an emergency exit. But if I head for the door, that might be too obvious. You know, I think either way, once again, I'm caught in a fork in the road. Alright, you know what? Stairs. Here we go. There are people upstairs, aren't there? The weekend staff or some volunteer? There should be. Even if it's a Sunday and I'm only here on a special permit, there should be at least one other person manning this place. I heard them a while ago. I don't think they're gonna be around though. Of course, I couldn't possibly tell them about this. They won't believe me in the same manner we didn't buy Isabella's stories until it's too late. But I can easily come up with excuses. For now, what's important is I don't end up trapped and alone with her.
Safety in numbers, as they say.
Best of luck. There's no hesitation in my steps as I race upstairs, ears straining for any signs or sounds of the woman appearing, jumping at me again at any second. I can still hear her behind me, the grinding of bones, her whispers as she keeps calling me back. Although it's at a distance, I don't slow my pace. Library rules be damned. Because no matter how much you pretend to be brave, the level-headed one, or the tough one, this terrifies me. This scares me more than anything. This isn't how I plan to die. But when I get to the third floor, only silence welcomes me, an emptiness that stretches out far too wide, spanning the entirety of the floor for it to be reassuring. Oh, I really hope I didn't pick the wrong choice. I hope it gives me a shot to escape. And just behind me, somewhere at the foot of the stairs, panic rises up my throat. No other way now but up. So I bolt, desperation kicking in without warning. I take 2 steps at a time, tripping clumsily over some of it in my last-ditch attempt to escape. But I know. At the back of my mind, I know. I know all of this is futile. With every footfall, with every ragged breath, with every pounding of my heart, it gets hammered to my mind. And it only becomes clearer to me once the door at the end opens, revealing the vast expanse of Luxbourne's early morning skyline, and with her treading at my heels, blocking my only way out.
Stay away from me!
Ah, man. Well, I mean, you can run around her, I guess. I don't know. A useless plea. Does she even understand a word I say? Can she even? Is she still human in the first place? Somehow I doubt it. Because no human being will ever do this. Simply imagining what she's capable of doing to us. I never want to give her that chance.
I'm telling you to back off!
Her gait is slow and she walks forward. Each stride accompanied by a sound of breaking bones, of blood oozing from wounds that never found healing. And with every inch she draws nearer, even as I pull away to take back what little distance I can between us, the smile on her merely grows wider. Well, of course it's growing wider. You're about to fall off. How about you run around her or something? A mocking gesture. For me. She may be less of a human now, but I'm pretty sure she's fully aware she's got me cornered. She wouldn't even bother making it here if she isn't. But I can't look away. I can't bring myself to, even as the heel of my shoe eventually hits the edge. End of the line. Trapped. Alone. Is this how it ends, huh? Quietly and without fanfare, surrounded not by a warm breeze but a chilly morning air. No soft footfalls on an empty hallway, but the din of the early morning traffic below. No warm afternoon light. Nothing but the cold, pungent smell of death, all underneath the dreary morning sky. How fitting. Yet amidst all of it, there's a single voice I want to hear. If only for the last time. Oh, come on! No! Give me a choice to save her. Give me a chance. Besides the one I just chose.
Becca?
Hey, did I wake you up?
No, I left you a voicemail, so I thought... Where are you?
The one I grew up with. Oh no. No! Give me a shot! Don't let her go! Oh, I should have picked the front door! But that could have been bad too. Ah. Who always got grades better than I did without even trying. Whose silly antics I have to put up with all these years. Who stood by me even when things got tougher. That one person who's been a constant in my life.
Ash, do you remember that one time?
The... what?
Back in secondary, we joined a contest back then, didn't we? We had to dress you up as a girl and...
No.
What? You looked really pretty. I think I still have that picture somewhere.
Burn it. We're not talking about that again. You promised. Seriously, what brought this on?
Nothing. It's just the first thing I remembered.
Give me any QTE, I will try it. Don't let her die. So weird. Despite everything, my lips curl up into a smile. Faint, sad. Oh, sorry. Faint. A sad little thing on its own given the situation. Because even at the very end, I know I have this. No, you don't. Give me a quick time event, please. The casual talk, the friendly banter, talking like how we always would as children. If only I haven't been too selfish. If only I haven't taken all this for granted in favor of my feelings. Then perhaps I won't be regretting anything now.
You're being weird today, Becca. Whatever. Listen, I need you to go home right away. I'm at Salem Well right now and...
I wish time would simply stop for us. There are still a lot of things I want to say. Things I've never bothered saying out loud. Things I should have said a long time ago to someone who has always been by my side. But in this moment, there's only one.
Thanks, Ash.
This actress, she's so good. No! Come on, give me a QTE, I'll do it.
Hold on, did I do something?
For everything.
Rebecca, what?
I'm so glad to have known you.
Wait, what are you? God damn it, Rebecca, where are you?
A soft click, and I'm closing my eyes. No, close your eyes! There's a rush of air, the sound of the world dimming around me, like a song coming to its inevitable end.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Aw, no! I've unlocked a memory fragment. No, wait, no, you can't just switch to Ashton now. Oh, ugh. Unlike Isabella, I don't think I have the excuse of critical condition anymore. She really may be dead. Okay. Alright, we're gonna... Parties have never been really my thing. They're always such a hassle and take so much time off my day. Prior plans and commitments cancelled all for the sake of playing along with others.
Welcome everyone.
I hated them even as a child.
Please, make yourselves at home.
But Mom often insisted. She'd slick my hair back, put me in one of those stuffy dinner jackets, and if there were any children around, urged me to make friends. Never mind how utterly loud or tedious it was all for the sake of keeping up appearances. To some extent, lies have already surrounded me, long before I've chosen what I wanted to do with my life. Luckily, there were easy ways to tune everything out, and much to my mom's frustration, I always managed to sneak my CD player along. I kept to myself and to my music, had my own little world, until I learned to observe. It's a simple matter of awareness, really. And for someone with keen eyes, a skewed necktie or a simple flick of the wrist alone could tell volumes about a person. I still don't like parties, especially ones as big and fancy as the Wrights' housewarming. However, when there's actual reason to go to them, I figure they're not too bad.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Besides, like it or not, it's all part of the job. I'm here on a mission. One that has the name Luke Wright plastered all over it. You'd think the man would want to remain inconspicuous after his name was linked to several high-profile crimes across Luxburn. Granted, most of it had gone cold over the years, having stagnated without any lead or evidence, but that still doesn't make him any less suspect. Yet here he is, throwing a party in his own backyard. Although, having observed the man this past year, I'm not even shocked. He craves it. The damn spotlight. Constantly yearns for attention like a neglected puppy. It doesn't take a genius to figure out why he's nowhere to be found in his own party. But that's not the problem here. What pisses me off is how far his reach extends. How close he creeped into the lives of the people I care about. Again, like a stubborn itch you couldn't be rid of. First Professor Clark, then there's Isabella. I also spotted Z-Man here a while ago, and now there's also Rebecca. Apparently.
Ashton?
Becca? What are you doing here?
I was invited.
Really? I had no idea you were friends with the host.
That explains things and makes this difficult all the same. As if getting a contact among staff to sneak a name into the guest list isn't hard enough. The guy almost ditched me last night and might have placed another step back on my investigation if it wasn't for my generous tip. Then here comes Rebecca, another person of mine.
Well, it's my parents, actually. But that's beside the point. What are you doing here? You hate parties.
I still do. I'm just here on behalf of a friend.
A necessary lie. I can't bring my own friends into this any further than what they found themselves in. Because if Luke Wright so much as harms a hair on either Zach's or Rebecca's heads, there will be hell to pay. He might have already done so with Isabella, and I wasn't able to do a single thing to keep her safe. I can't let the same mistake happen. But it does. Unfortunately. I doubt he'll attempt anything in front of other people, though. Okay, let's break away from this for a moment, guys. My head is still reeling from what happened in the previous chapter. So, okay, there's still... Okay, in my head, when she falls, there could have been an awning, that she fell on that probably broke her fall just a little bit, just to give enough give for her to, like, suffer some heavy damages, but not enough to kill her. I'm just saying, again, we could easily place this into an Isabella type of situation. I know, I could be wrong. In fact, I am completely certain that I am wrong, but I want to believe. Just like with Isabella, I want to believe. I want to believe that there's still a chance she could live. I doubt it, but let a man believe, let a man dream. Alright, that done, let's continue on, guys. It would tarnish his glorious reputation and he values appearances more than anything. That doesn't necessarily mean he isn't capable of it. More than, in fact. And on the off chance he does something, I wouldn't be responsible for my actions.
That's rare. Do you have someone with you then?
Nope, just me. I won't be staying long.
Well, if that's the case, maybe you and I can...
For Zach's and Rebecca's sakes, however, I really hope this will be simply another housewarming. Even though something tells me it's anything but. Call it a detective's intuition or whatever. When Luke Wright's involved, nothing good has ever come out of it. I can't let my guard down here. Even more so when a familiar car slows to a stop and out comes...
Chief?
My presence here might be odd at best, but I have an excuse. One that this man handed to me himself a year ago, along with a heavy dose of flattery of the newly promoted detective inspector. Can't exactly say the same from my good old boss, can I? Although, to see him here chatting it up with Luxburn's rich and famous isn't such a big surprise in itself. No disrespect meant, but the guy is obviously a social climber. What is surprising is the fact that he seems all too eager to mingle with a person of interest, his wife. Just what the hell is he doing here?
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I need to... There's something I need to check for a bit. I'll talk to you later. Do you have a ride home?
No, I had to take a cab here. My car wouldn't start this afternoon. But what about...
What the is going on here?
I told you to get that old thing checked before, didn't I? You can head back with me after this. Anyway, I gotta go. See ya. Be careful, okay?
Hey, be careful! About what exact...
I don't want to draw attention to myself either, at least not until he's given me a proper reason to spoil his little party.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see?
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again.
For now, the best I can do is wait and remain inconspicuous, especially with Chief here, whose motives are dubious at best. If it means having to pretend I don't know Zach and Rebecca or forcing myself to rub elbows with people I barely know, let alone like, then so be it. I can't involve anyone. Wandering is out of the question as well when there are guards and civvies stationed here and there. Sure, getting past them is something I could do with ease, but I'd rather not right now, when I'm one of the few snooping and roaming about. It'd be best to try and do so once there's a crowd of people. And if their interior designers' drunken claims are to be believed...
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing.
It'll all come down to how well I'll play my cards tonight. With a good hand, this party is gonna give me the breakthrough I need to crack Luke right or something to prove my suspicions wrong. Maybe find out what kind of game my boss is also playing. I've had an inkling before, a few hunches tempered down by how much of a bumbling fool the man appears. But one does not simply deal with the rights and get invited to a party they host without wanting anything from either of the two. Or it's the other way around. So with the last wary glance at the two, I head into the ballroom. I just hope this will not complicate things further. By the time the party's in full swing, night has fallen, yet there still isn't Luke right in sight. The man can be quite ostentatious, but this, frankly, I'm impressed. I don't even know how many hors d'oeuvres I've already stuffed my face with. One too many, probably. The servers are already giving me a stink eye every time I saunter over the buffet table. Blame your employer, not me. He's the one who has the guts to show up late. Besides, most of the guests' idle talk is concentrated in this area. Despite standing under the same roof with the very people they're whispering about, some just couldn't resist. I might as well keep an ear out for any useful info.
Is Suarez still fixing that tech problem? Tech problem?
It's been 3 years. Sooner or later, the Blighter will put 2 and 2 together.
He might have already.
If the red tape I'm being slammed with these past few months is just anything, that or someone has been pulling the strings. I wouldn't be shocked. This case would not have gone this long if Scumbag didn't have a mule of some kind in the force.
Shush you, we all know Suarez just wants an out.
I knew he was bad news the day the merger with Evans Incorporated happened.
Feh. Glad I did not have to deal with that. But keep it down, someone might hear. The wife especially.
This kind of negligence has always been an advantage, but sometimes I wish I could be smashed drunk while doing this. Having sharp ears also means you get to hear the most unsavory things. Who cheated on who this week, one person's motives for bashing someone's skull against a wall, or a father's excuse for burning his own daughter alive, that sort of stuff. After a few years, it gets tiring, you get desensitized to it. But humans could also be downright awful. Sometimes there simply isn't enough brain bleach in the world. Sadly, the wine is a no-go tonight, and mostly for show. I'm up for another drive later for one, and I definitely want to be sober in case anything comes up. And something always comes up in assignments like this. A detective inspector dying of cardiac arrest, for example. Because I can feel the moment my heart grinds to a halt the second I shift my eyes to a corner of the ballroom.
Hana right.
Some will say I'm acting a touch bit paranoid, and maybe I am. This is a party and she's the hostess. It goes to say that she'd take time to mingle with her guests. But Hana Wright Nee Evans isn't without her fair share of accolades. At least to the public, she doesn't seem like it. Unlike her husband, she's the one with the business sense, not to mention the impressive track record needed to manage a company. Or effectively hide whatever irregularity there might be. She's clean as far as my agents and I have found, but it doesn't rule out a possible involvement with whatever her husband's up to. Hell, Luke Wright came out clean in previous reports until I bothered to take a deeper look into it. What I found may not be sufficient to bring anyone to trial yet, but it's enough to nurture suspicion. This may be a bit of an overreaction, but no one lasts long in my line of work by being careless.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Nothing to be worried about then. She's probably even more careful with appearances than her own husband, having grown up with the spotlight focused on her. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here for today. Thank you for watching. Until the next one.